One of the things you will miss most when transitioning to a remote career is having all your colleagues in the same time zone. When you are working remotely across continents and time zones, you have to deal with many challenges, such as not being able to get immediate answers to clear potential bottlenecks. Knowing how to effectively work across time zones will help you navigate some of these pitfalls it creates, making sure you avoid stepping on your co-workers' tails. Good morning, or is it good afternoon where you are? Here are some tips for working with your colleagues across time zones. Being aware and preemptive when it comes to managing this will help foster a healthy working relationship between you and your team. Below are 5 things to keep in mind when communicating with that colleague halfway across the globe. 1. Set fair meeting times. As much as you don't want to get up at 5 AM for a meeting, neither do your co-workers. Consider everyone's time zone when you are calling for a huddle to make sure everyone is comfortable and no one is being forced out of their way. If sacrifices have to be made, make sure everyone bears the brunt sometimes, and rotate meeting times accordingly. There are apps in the market that helps you figure out the time zones of your colleagues so you don't have to memorize the time differences across the world. A simple tool like Every Time Zone can show you quickly what time it is where your colleagues are located. This takes the guesswork out of figuring someone's time zone and helps you avoid reaching out to someone when they are already off the clock or out for lunch. 2. Decide on an official time zone. While you still want to be aware of each other's time zone, setting an official one for the company will go a long way in alleviating confusion amongst the team, especially when communicating meetings or deadlines. This time zone will serve as the status quo and eliminate any of the he said, she said. It also makes it easier for employers to quickly know what the time difference is for their own location. Through a simple subtraction or addition for their own zoning, having this time zone sets a standard for the company to follow. It also creates a common ground from which your project management will stand. 3. Learn your co-worker's schedule. Knowing their schedule will help you determine the best time for chit-chat, meetings, or other activities. This will in turn elicit a much more favorable and productive answer. And once you understand their habits and working hours, you should also cool your expectations for immediate responses. Instead, have a healthy expectation such as a 24-hour period before pressing or bumping for a follow-up. When sending any email communication after hours, make it known that you are aware they are gone and you do not require immediate answers, unless you have to, of course. So this should show that you understand and respect their work schedules and will go a long way in creating camaraderie and trust. 4. Use collaborative tools. When the other project collaborator is across the globe, you might find yourself stuck at a bottleneck in the project if there are unclear instructions or handoffs between shifts. Having collaborative tools such as Asana or Trello helps you get asynchronous communications right by ensuring transparency and common understanding on project and task statuses. This cuts down the number of times you have to bump someone to get an update on their progress while you are offline, and also make sure that you are able to continue working with all the resources you require, regardless of the other collaborators' online status. 5. Pay attention to cultural norms. Working across time zone is not just about managing the time difference, but understanding the cultural differences as well. While you might be used to a 9 to 5, there are countries that practice split shifts. Be aware of the traditions of the countries your co-workers are in, as these differences will dictate the hours they work, the holidays they celebrate, or even the manner they communicate. Having this understanding helps you avoid irritating someone while they are off for their longer breaks. This also creates a cohesive team that is aware of each other's quirks and peeves, as well as how to avoid them. This reduces petty quarrels that will derail productivity and ensures a happy team. We live in a reciprocal world, and your co-workers will only respect your time and schedule as much as you respect theirs. Being a remote worker, you have more flexibility in crafting out your schedule, but that has to be done with your team in mind. So do understand if certain sacrifices have to be made from time to time. All these will go a long way to making you a favorite in the company. If you would like more tips and advice from us, click on the link below to join our tribe. where you and your peers can discuss the points above and value add to each other in your pursuit of a remote career. Of course, I will also be sharing more day-to-day tips to bring you towards success. I will see you there.